reactions were mixed, as some would even defend the Black ICE agents for doing what they have to do to provide for themselves and family. One user on Instagram would directly defend the Black ICE agent woman for making the decision to join ICE. He would go on to say, "Imagine the strength it takes to wake up and do what you have to do, knowing you'll be ridiculed by a so-called culture that ain't paying your bills."
And yeah, so I have to disagree with him too. I think it would show a lot more strength to resign out of protest, like a elaborate resignation because of what your organization has become, saying that this is not what you signed up for, so you disagree and you have to, you know what I'm saying? That I think that would show more strength, because yeah, you know, even if you had just got the job or you had the job for a long time, I think that shows a lot more strength than continuing to do it. But I can't knock you for continuing to do it. I don't know what your struggle is. I don't know what your position is. So.
Hashtag.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Trey.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back at it with another video.
Another one.
First and foremost, thank all of y'all that have subscribed so far. Obviously, I'm a new YouTuber, so I really appreciate it. But let me know in the comments if y'all are liking the content, not liking the content. I'm trying to get better at this, more comfortable, more confident, and put out more content that y'all enjoy. But I won't know unless y'all tell me. So make sure y'all let me know what y'all feeling and not feeling. But this video, we're going to be getting into Hype Plus News. And they're talking about, you know, ICE being deployed at these airports. And come to find out, it's a lot of black folks that are in ICE. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Reporting live from Rivals Club in Atlanta, Hype Plus News, I'm Janab. As mentioned at the top of the week, Donald Trump will deploy ICE agents to different airports across the country to help with a shortage of TSA workers related to a partial government shutdown. Now, unlike previous images of ICE agents who were mainly masked, Trump would request that all ICE agents in airports to not wear their masks as they help U.S. citizens. Trump will go on to say on his social site Truth Social, "I'm a big proponent of ICE wearing masks as they search for and are forced to deal with hardened criminals. I would greatly appreciate, however, no mask when helping our country out the Democrat cause mess at the airports, etc. Thank you." Now, what may have also been a way to manage the perception of ICE by U.S. citizens has definitely put some ICE agents in uncomfortable positions, as the role has become heavily criticized for being Trump's personal task force. On the first day of their airport takeover, footage of ICE agents running from cameras in the airport would immediately begin circulating online.
All right, so let me stop it here real quick and let's talk about it, right? So I'm no fan of ICE. Fuck them for all I care, right? But obviously here, they're not doing anything. They're just walking around the airport because, let's face it, ICE really has no purpose at the airport unless they are told that there is some illegal immigrant there that they need to apprehend. So I have a problem with people just chasing them around with cameras because what? What is the purpose? What are we doing this for? They're not doing anything. They're not oppressing anybody. They're not, you know, taking advantage of anybody's constitutional right. They're not doing anything. All the things that I've come to despise them for, they're not doing any of that in this moment and in this airport. So all you're doing is doxing them, which is one of the main things that they said they were wearing the mask for. So we got to be smarter, more intelligent when we go about our right to protest and the things that we're unhappy with. I get everyone being unhappy with ICE and the Border Patrol. I am unhappy with ICE and the Border Patrol. But in this specific video, in this specific moment, they're not doing anything wrong. So you look like a weirdo chasing them around with a camera for no reason. Trust me, I'm not the one to, I don't want to be the guy defending ICE. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that we should have controlled borders. I do believe that people that are here illegally should be deported. But I believe that there's a perfectly humane way to do so within the limits of constitutional rights. And therefore, I don't agree with how they've been employed for the past year. All that being said, I don't agree with this either. like just chasing people around the airport so you can get them on camera and get their faces so somebody can recognize them down the line. You don't know them. You don't know if they participated in any of these acts that we're all upset about. They might be fully against that. I just think, you know, this is a jump to judgment and you know, potentially doxing somebody and having them affected negatively when we can't even prove that they did anything wrong. Me personally, if I was a part of an organization that had been doing all of these things, I would have resigned. That's just me personally. But that's me being in the situation I am. I'm in the position to where I could afford to resign out of protest for my morality and principles. I don't know what their position is. I don't know if they can afford to do so. So I'm not going to judge them.
Now, what is drawing a lot of conversation is surprisingly the number of black ICE agents who were now being seen due to this airport initiative. And this has caused a series of mixed reactions from users online. For some black users, a black ICE agent is simply a traitor.
Bruh, am I the only one who thinks that if you are a black ICE agent, that Tourette's guy should be allowed to call you a nigga?
This is what we mean when we say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Cause y'all, ICE agents don't have their mask on in the airports today. And the amount of black and brown ICE agents I've seen, Lord. Exhibit B. Exhibit C right here. Like, I know things are rough, but out of all of the government jobs that y'all could get, as people of color, y'all couldn't pick something else.
And that part right there, right? We can't be around here policing our community on what kind of jobs they do and don't take. It's a job. You don't know, right? I don't know. You don't know how long they were applying, how long they were out of work, you know, what their financial situation is. Do they got wife, kids, this, that, and the third, family members they taking care of? Who knows it? List all the laundry list of things. Yes, I would not, me personally, I would not apply to ICE. I would not apply to Border Patrol. I wouldn't even apply to the police force. But I get somebody that could have that inclination to apply to them. I wouldn't disown them because of it. As long as they are doing the job that it was intended. Like, all of these organizations have a function, and at face value of what that organization stands for and what it's supposed to do, you wouldn't have a problem with them doing it. Well, maybe you would, but a lot of people wouldn't have a problem with them doing it. Border Patrol, like, yeah, just manning the border and making sure that people cross it legally, and people that don't, that are illegal, do not get across and or are sent back to wherever they came from when they try. ICE, their whole reason for being is people that are found to be here illegally, they go grab them and make sure and get them back to where they came from. Now, we all have seen how they've been employed in the past year and how I disagree with how they've been employed. I get that. And that's one of the reasons why, me personally, I would not be able to take that job, and I would resign out of protest. But somebody else might be like, well, I am not the one doing all these bad things, so I don't have a reason to quit or resign. I am doing the job that I believe in the way it was intended. I've been doing the job for 10, 15, however many years. Maybe these people are close to retirement or something like that, and they're just sticking it out for a couple more years to be able to get the benefits that they've been working towards all this time. So many different scenarios. Nobody knows. So don't be quick to rush to judgment and read people the riot act and call them Uncle Toms, and somebody calls them slave catchers and all that stuff. I think that's just nasty work, demonizing people that are just trying to make a living. Like, demonize the people that are doing the foul shit. Demonize the people that you've seen in Minneapolis, shooting people with pepper balls and tackling people and killing people. Those are the people that deserve your hatred and your vitriol. These people, for right now, right? Like I said, don't rush to judgment. For right now, these people don't deserve any of that from you, because all they're doing is standing around. That's it. Standing around looking at their phones, getting fucking Starbucks. Like, stop it.
Trump put ICE exactly where he wanted to put them. Think about it. You ain't got money to pay TSA, but you got money to pay ICE.
Now, over on Threads and X, the conversation would continue. Seeing black ICE agents doesn't sit right with my spirit. While another would end up singling out a black woman who was also an agent. They were going to write, "Black woman ICE agent. This is what betrayal looks like to me." Now, as mentioned, the reaction.
Yeah, I'm sorry to keep stopping, but I think those things are powerful, right? And again, think about this. All the people that have done the things that we're upset about, it wasn't her, right? The guy that shot Alex Peretti, the people that shot Alex Peretti, the people that shot Renee Good, the people that were shooting priests in the head with pepper balls and tear gas and everybody, it's not them. Y'all are mad at like the organization as a whole, and I understand that. I can empathize with that, but it wasn't them. So all of your anger and hatred you're putting in these images. You're putting these people out there to focus all of this hate. It's the same thing I hate about fucking conservatives. It's the same thing I hate about the racism in the Republican Party. So if I'm gonna call them out for when they do it, the Charlie Kirks of the world that demonize black folks as DEI meaning black and unqualified. Like, if I'm going to have that same sort of hatred when somebody else does that to demonize a specific group and put all hatred in another specific group, I'm going to call this out too. We don't know if she's guilty or them, all these people being plastered on all these images. We don't know if they're guilty of those things. We know that they're part of an organization that did those things. So they could resign out of protest, like I said. But just because that's how I believe and that's how I roll, I can't force all of you to do the same thing. I can't force all of y'all to subscribe to my channel. But, you know what I'm saying, I would like to.
Reactions were mixed, as some would even defend the black ICE agents for doing what they have to do to provide for themselves and family. One user on Instagram would directly defend the black ICE agent woman for making the decision to join ICE. He would go on to say, "Imagine the strength it takes to wake up and do what you have to do, knowing you'll be ridiculed by a so-called culture that ain't paying your bills."
And yeah, so I have to disagree with him too. I think it would show a lot more strength to resign out of protest, like a elaborate resignation because of what your organization has become, saying that this is not what you signed up for, so you disagree and you have to, you know what I'm saying? That I think that would show more strength because, yeah, you know, even if you had just got the job or you had the job for a long time, I think that shows a lot more strength than continuing to do it. But I can't knock you for continuing to do it. I don't know what your struggle is. I don't know what your position is. So
Hashtag ICE, hashtag America. Now, that comment would spark support as well as more angry black users. On Threads, one woman would write, "Y'all acting shocked that there are black ICE agents, as if for decades black people ain't been propping up white supremacy and state violence by joining the police. Black people becoming ICE agents is the same as black people becoming cops, is the same as black people joining the military, is the same as black people becoming correction officers. All of these systems uphold white supremacy and promote state and sometimes global violence, and there are black people complicit in all of them."
if we don't have black people in these organizations, think of how much worse it is. I can see where, I think that was female, but whatever, whoever that tweet, I can see where they're coming from. I wouldn't do it because I don't have the patience to. Well, no, it's not that I don't have the patience. I don't have the optimism to think that I can change an organization that large from the inside, from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? I look at the world through a lot of pessimism and you know, I just don't believe. I don't believe how I once believed. But I wouldn't go that far. That I think that's an extreme. We need people. We need people that can do it or are willing to do it because it could be so much worse. I trust and believe that it would be a lot worse if we weren't represented in some way, shape, or form. And that we, as in all minorities, weren't represented in these organizations in some way, shape, or form. I think that's the only check and balance that we can get in those. But you know, it's just not for me. That could be hypocritical of me in some way, but yeah, I that's just where I'm at with it. But yeah.
frequent guest of the network, Trip Fontaine, would also sound off about people defending black ICE agents. Y'all on here defending an ICE agent cause she black? Y'all done lost y'all minds. I don't care what her situation was or is. She's only doing slave catching work to support her family. Y'all sound dumb and got us looking even dumber. You and that slave catcher are the reason Big Tubman was strapped. Now, in regards to seeing black ICE agents, some, like political commentator Reese Colbert, would suggest that the White House is purposely showing more black ICE agents than normal. I do think that there is a deliberate effort to try to make black agents, and black women in particular, the face of this takeover of these airports. While another CEO of the political firm Blueprint Strategy LLC, Antoine Seawright, would tell the Griot that he believes that the black ICE agents are being forced to be there. I think they want to make folks comfortable while being uncomfortable, and it's easy to put a black face out there to mask an agenda that will essentially harm those same communities that the faces represent. So let's talk about them more in the comments below. Do you think black ICE agents are sellouts, or are...
So that's obviously the end of this one, but y'all let me know in the comments, right? This is a tough one for me. I can see both sides of it. I let y'all know where I stand, right? I would resign, and I wouldn't apply for that organization as it exists today. If I was a part of it and I had got into it like 10, 15 years ago, whatever the case may be, would I stay? No, I wouldn't. I would just go ahead and retire. But that's me, standing on principles. But y'all let me know. Do y'all agree, disagree, in the comment section? And until next time, I'll holla at you.
Hating on my energy. I don't think you wanna be my enemy. I pop out, they go wild, so celebrity. Too busy winning, I forgot that I got frenemies.